wanted to share because recently I've been, when you come out of this, and I'm fairly new, I'm 10 months now. It's been 10 months. My husband was explaining it to me, and I usually write down the days. I haven't looked at the days, exact days. I notice when you come out, you kind of just need to be. And I didn't do that at first. I jumped right into a group that discussed the Bible. And I also jumped into college again. And it was just a little bit too much. So I now realize that I kind of needed to unplug. I stopped the college thing because I couldn't spend time with my girls and my husband. And when you come out of the organization, you're going to, well, it was 5 meetings a week, but then they knocked it down. So we have the 2-hour public talk, or the Sunday meeting, 2 hours, and then you have 2 hours on a Wednesday, Thursday, which depending on that's 4 hours. And then, so now we're down to 4 meetings and no book study at a home. So and then that doesn't include out in field service. So I was a 10-hour publisher, at least a 10-hour publisher. And that caused me to stay away from home during the week. On a Wednesday, usually that was my service day, Wednesdays. So it was nice just to realize that I still was doing too much when I got out, because I just needed to be. And I noticed so much more comfortable listening to opinions and different thought processes about the Bible. And I appreciate it now. And I don't feel threatened every time I come home. There's a relief that comes with just being, not doing anything in particular. So my warning to you when you come out is just don't try and pull everything in that you lost. It's going to take time. When you have a 9-month-old baby inside of you, you don't expect the child to start working and doing the things that a child can't do that an adult can do. So my analogy is when you come out of the organization, you're very much like a brand new child. And I think Germ was really neat because he said, we're very, as far as the world is concerned, we're not very educated about what's going on around us. Some of us are, but I certainly wasn't. So, and I think too, the importance of when you get into a group meeting, such as it was explained today, the importance of not putting anybody on a pedestal. I noticed that. You get into a group setting and it's very easy for someone fresh out to listen to someone who says, I know where we're going. Don't do that. Don't listen to that. You have to really listen to yourself at this point. I will never, ever view a group of men the way I do, the way that I did. I will never, ever believe in a group of men the way that I did, because everyone has a mask, right? Everyone has a mask. Everyone has a certain way of looking in front of a camera or in a group of people that makes them look like they are doing the absolute best of everything according to the scriptures, but quietly doing something that you wouldn't approve of. So as a human being, it doesn't have to be about Christianity. It just has to be about being a human being. I do have very interesting conversations with my husband because he is not a Christian. So, and I don't consider myself a fundamentalist Christian anymore. I mean, that's what Jehovah's Witnesses are basically. as fundamentalist Christians. It's everything to the T, right? So in the Bible, I don't view it that way any longer. I feel like there's a fluidity, especially now. And I always tell my girls, no one's gotten zapped just because they had a different view of life. If I was God, I would have zapped us a long time ago, because it's just a mess. We've kind of created a big mess, and it hasn't happened. So we're allowed to have a fluid way of thinking. We're allowed to disagree with each other. We're allowed to hear different opinions, and it feels really good to be able to do that without fear. I have to say, that is one good thing. And especially when we realize that these people don't have any more knowledge than we do. The governing body, the elders, they're all masks that each one will shed privately when it's not in a group setting. Pioneers, ministerial servants, we have one way to look at things in a group setting, but when we're privately by ourselves, it's a different story. And I noticed that even as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. There was no way that I could be freely asking questions, especially as a woman. In my home, I had that opportunity, but not in a congregation setting, and certainly not with other sisters, because they would go and tattle. So, yeah, I thought I would share that. And we're all struggling in this process. And I like that. It's an equal struggle. There is no higher, no one knows more than anyone else. For me, it's about the brain. When I looked at how much we don't know about a brain, that was so fascinating. We go to the moon. Man has gone to the moon. But when it comes to the brain, that's something we don't know. It's a power that we just cannot understand. And a power that we have yet to harness. That's fascinating to me, that we can still do so much more investigating on a brain, and we still won't really understand it. So I hope this helps you on your healing journey, friends. This is hard. Take it one day at a time. I don't know if anybody else out there in this big human experience on YouTube and experiment is doing the same thing that I'm doing, because I don't really check. I really don't. I don't know what's going on. And I always tell you that you're my small service group. We're like a small little group that gets together, and I really appreciate you always listening and feeding me some information, always very positive. It's always really sweet. So thank you, and I hope you're healing well. And I like that others have been way ahead of me. Like, for instance, my husband. I appreciate that man so much. He always has a little different take on things, which is fine, right? It's fine. I love the take is different, and I appreciate it. It makes me feel uncomfortable, yeah. Good. It should. It makes you think. All right. I hope this helps you on your healing journey, friends. Follow your bliss and be good humans.